Hey guys, so today I want to talk about a principle that you can apply in everyday life, no matter what you're doing. You can just build this into whatever you're doing, anytime, any place, and it'll train core fundamental musical skills. This one in particular will help you with your sense of rhythm, so how rhythms piece together and how it crosses each other, and basically how you can make your playing essentially on the piano much more interesting by having that sense of rhythm. But it'll also train, as a really good bonus, it'll really help you with hand coordination or hand independence, and I know that is a big deal for a lot of you out there. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at core musical skills and hand independence. So rhythm is something that is deeply fundamental to us as human beings, okay? At least the very foundation is. What we can do is we can then make it more complex, which is what we're going to do in this video, but the foundation driving pulse, that movement, that constant movement forward, is like, it's something that's so fundamental to us. It's like, it's when a shaman bangs the drum and he goes into a trance. It's when you rock a baby to sleep, that constant side to side motion. It's the trance music in the club, you know, with the bass drum that just goes boom, 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 that driving beat, yeah? It's something that's fundamental to our core being, and it's very normal. So we're going to make use of that and use that as a foundation to then build up more complex rhythms. I am, of course, talking about walking. When we walk, we have this fundamental pulse that is very similar to the driving pulse of music. You know, we've got left, right, or right, left, you know, and that forms the foundation of a nice driving beat that we can make use of to build up more complex skills, which is what we're going to explore. Now, the beauty about this is you might be taking the dog for a walk, you might be just nipping to the shops, you might be walking to work, you know. All these times that we walk through the day, we can turn into opportunities to train core fundamental musical skill. So what is it about walking? Well, walking has this natural driving pulse, you know, we walk right, left, and it's the same as what we get in music. So in music, we've got this fundamental driving pulse through the music like this, and when we walk, it's exactly the same. And, you know, it just so happens that when we walk, it falls between, say, about 90 BPM to maybe 120 BPM, something like that. 120 would be like a fast walk and 90 BPM would be a slow stroll. But the point is, it's whatever speed you're doing, it's a nice driving pulse. So, trying to give myself some more room. Okay, we're going to use our hands here, okay? And we're going to place them down onto our legs like this. And we're going to now just use this motion with the right hand and the left hand to start creating rhythms. And we're going to do that over the top of this nice fundamental pulsing rhythm. So imagine this is the pulse of the piece, this is the pulse of the bars, you know, 4 beats in a bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to use our hands now to create some rhythms. Now, I've got a video on YouTube which I really want you to check out. It's called 3 Rhythm Exercises That You Will Love to Hate. I'll put the link down in the information box, but if you just type in Google 3 Rhythms You Will Love to Hate, Creative Piano Academy. In that video, I show you how rhythmic divisions are laid out and how you can very easily start creating your own rhythms. And in that video, it's all about using your hands to tap the rhythms as well. So using the techniques in that video, along with the principle in this video, and sort of mashing it together, you'll be able to come up with infinite exercises that you can use. So what I want to show you right now, though, is just a few exercises that you can use, you know, pretty much straight away. Just walk out of the house and use right now. If it's important to say that when you get into this concept that I'm showing you, you can create infinite exercises. So I could be here and create a 10-hour long video, but you know, I can't do that. So we're gonna start off nice and simple. I'll just show you a few exercises, and then hopefully coupled with that other video, you can start seeing how this concept works, and then, you know, use a bit of ingenuity, a bit of creativity, and start creating your own exercises. So when you're out walking, first of all, we'll start right at the beginning. So we've got right, left. So this is our nice steady walk, and we're just going to match it in the right hand. We're just going to match it in the hands. So we'll go right, left. Okay. So the point here is you're matching the footsteps. So we're already building coordination, but it's the smoothness, it's the consistency that I really want you to focus on here. So like, none of this. We want to try and get that driving feeling, that right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay? And you can swap it over as well. So you could start off with your right foot and you could go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Swap around, yeah? This is really good for the brain. Okay, so that's our number one exercise. Then you can start taking certain strikes out of that, so we get rhythms like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Like this. Now all these kind of rhythms are in that video I told you about, so we're going to move on now. So now we can think about, instead of being on each beat like this, we can divide that bar up into, instead of 4 beats in a bar like this, so instead of 4 strikes, we can break that up into 8 strikes over the top of our 4 beats. So this is our pulse. We've got our 4 in the bar, so it would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll go twice as fast as that, and we'll fit another one in like this. Okay. Bearing in mind, again, we're going for smoothness, we're going for consistency. Swap it round, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Okay, now this is where it starts getting a little bit more interesting, because we can start creating multiple rhythms now, and this is where it gets a little bit difficult for me, because there's literally infinite number of these exercises that we could do. So along with that grid, so we've got that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and now we can start creating rhythms. It's all in that video. So for instance, just a few examples. Here's our pulse. We could start out just missing 1 or 2. Like this, left, right, left, left, right, left, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and okay, we could go 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Yeah, we could go 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So now we're getting a little bit more technical, a little bit more confusing. And you can also swap these rhythms around as well, so starting on your left instead of your right. So literally there are so many of these exercises that there will literally be no point in me detailing them all out step by step. So what I want to show you now is how you can just start walking, and how you can slowly build up a more complicated rhythm. Okay, so I'll show you a quick example of that, because it's really useful if you're finding it a little bit confusing, a little bit difficult. Here's what you can do. So pretend I'm walking in the woods. Imagine I'm not in a studio marching on the spot like this, looking like a bit of an idiot. So imagine I'm just walking nice and normally, and I could start just by simply just going 1. Okay, I've got that, that's good. Okay, 1. On the beat, first beat of the bar, nice, 1. Oh, look at that. Okay, so I'm on 1 and 3, 2. Alright, I'm getting used to that. That's pretty nice. Alright, what else could I do? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, playing around with these main beats. Maybe I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Keep swapping things around a bit. That's alright. I like that. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go into those divisions a bit. Right, after this. Okay. Alright. Alright, that's alright. I like that. Okay, maybe I'll stop. Or maybe I'll start again. Maybe it's got a little bit confusing, a little bit like, maybe it's got a bit tougher, so I'll start again. It's not bad, okay. Start again. Just start off with my main beat, okay? Nice. Okay, I'll keep that going for a bit, okay? So that's 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Maybe I'll go 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Okay. That's all right. Maybe that's about as far as I can go. Maybe now I'm getting confused, so. Oh, I've collapsed. Stop, start again. Build it up from scratch, slowly, yeah? So hopefully you get the idea there. I'm just gonna take it nice and steady. Just go for a walk and just start tapping and seeing what happens. Now, obviously, if you've never done this before, it will be very difficult for you, it'll be very confusing. I totally get that. That's why I want you to study a little bit about how rhythmic divisions work, so that when you come to do this exercise, your mind's not like getting really confused and it's stopping you from actually doing it. So again, I go over all those principles, how it works on that YouTube video, but what I will do is right now I'll just put something up on the screen so you can see a few exercises for you to try, okay? So I'll pop it up on the screen, you can pause the video and take some notes. Now before we finish, I will say that if you are finding even those fairly basic rhythms complicated right now, then you can still go out and do this. Just use the first beat of the bar. Just use the first and the third beat of the bar, yeah? And just practice movement between the left and the right hand. Just, you know, start off nice and steady, start off nice and simple, and just build it up over time. This is probably a long-term project for you, so if you don't get it straight away, do not worry. And also, the more you do this, the more you can then sit at the piano in your practice sessions and see how these rhythms can fit together with maybe some chord progressions you're doing. So you're seeing how these rhythms actually fit into practice and into practical use. So I really hope that helps and you can build it into your everyday life. Now before we finish, another really good little bonus tip for you. If you're a driver and you drive places, you can actually start training this as well by just sitting and listening to the radio. Stick on some music, try and analyze and feel the beat of that particular music. You know, I do this with my beginner students sometimes, and I'd say sometimes, so not all the time, but sometimes my students find it quite difficult to even just pick up on the pulse of the song. So very first stages is when you're listening to music, there's a very clear drive to the song, okay? There's a drive there, there's a pulse, there's a constant movement, you know? This is what I was talking about, where it's very natural when we're walking. So I want you to think about where that beat is and just tap on your steering wheel. Now, obviously be sensible, don't be distracting yourself driving. I'm not suggesting that in the slightest, but if that's a bit uncomfortable, then just think it. But listen to music and see if you can feel that pulse. And then once you're locked into that pulse, what are the other instruments in the song doing? What other cross rhythms are the other instruments? There might be a guitar up at the top that's doing a really funky little cross rhythm. See if you can match that rhythm, yeah? Or even just listen to the pulse in the background and just create your own rhythms over that pulse when you're driving. So training yourself to hear rhythms, feel rhythms, cross rhythms. You can do this in so many different ways, so many different places, and I really hope that you do start putting that into your everyday life, because the more you do this, the more you'll become a well-rounded musician and you'll be able to translate those skills over to the piano. So that's it from me today. Thank you for watching and I hope that helps. P.S. I forgot to mention, the ultimate ambition with this this principle, when you get used to it and you've tried those basic rhythms, you've moved on to the more complex rhythms, when you're used to that and it's a little bit more familiar for you, please don't forget that the ultimate idea is to be able to just spontaneously create rhythms. We might be walking like this and rhythms just start feeling more natural and they just start coming out. And then they might start building up in complexity. Now, I'm not expecting that right now, but don't forget that that is the long-term goal. I want you to be able to just start walking and then don't think, just spontaneously start generating rhythms, and then that will train you when you do get to the piano to be able to improvise a lot easier. You've got some chords, maybe you've found a chord progression you really like, you can start spontaneously putting that chord progression into a much nicer feel, a much more rhythmically pleasing feel, and it will just flow out and pour out of you. So I just thought I'd add that, tack that on to the end of the video. Bear in mind that's the ultimate goal, so speak soon.